How do you know that?
Well, in the ruling I got before me, it's called the Vortman ruling. The Superior Court judge makes a ruling that the men's fire group, one of the group that's involved in most of this, their practices are extortion, intimidation, and mischief. And when I laid the charges, I got a judge that actually laid charges of extortion. The Crown just drops the charge. And another ruling in Cuga, the judge ruled it was actually illegal for the OPP to threaten the property owners that they would be the one to be arrested if there was an incident between the owners and the occupiers. Because under the criminal code, you have a right to protect your property.
You're not from Caledonia. You moved closer to Caledonia.
Yeah, we originally lived in Richmond Hill, and after about 2 years, we made a decision with all the commuting going on, it'd be far better to live in Caledonia. But
just to get this in order, for people who don't come from Ontario, Richmond Hill, I mean, it's a world away from Caledonia. It has no link to Caledonia at all. It's a Toronto suburb. And because of what was going on in Caledonia, you were commuting there a lot.
Yes.
And then you thought, now, people can't sell their property. Many people would love to leave, that they can't get out of this place. It's a terrible situation. You decided you're going to move, and you must be the only person in the country who decided you would move to Caledonia.
Well, there have obviously been people who have moved in since then, but
can't imagine many.
Yeah, it made national news that we were buying a place in Caledonia. Right. The OPP, within about a week and a half, laid a charge against me that both the judge and the Crown said in court they had never heard of this charge before, and because they had laid a charge, they were able to get travel restrictions for 30 months. I was forbidden to enter Caledonia.
So you couldn't live there, so you live close by? So
we live about 15 minutes away in Binbrook, which is really technically part of Hamilton.
How do the people in Caledonia regard you? Now, obviously, it has to be subjective by its nature, but I'm sure I'll be getting hundreds of emails from people with different opinions. But do they... Because I've been somewhat surprised how gentle in reaction the people can be in that town. Do they say you're a great hero, or do they say you're an outsider, interfering, making things worse?
Well, obviously you're going to have both sides. I mean, it's like asking how many people like Harper, right? I mean, we haven't had a prime minister who's over 50% majority in probably a long time, probably since Diefenbaker. But I did run in the federal election. I ran as an independent, and in this country, running as an independent is a killer. I mean, you don't have the party backing. In Haldimand County, the Conservative is a cabinet minister, Dianne Finlay. Yep. And then we had Eric Hoskins running for the Liberal, who was some UN award winner for some doctor. And I got 50% more votes than the Conservative Party got. I got more votes than the Liberal Party got in Caledonia.
Oh, in Caledonia?
In Caledonia itself.
So you didn't win the seat, but in Caledonia you won.
Haldimand County, the federal seat is Haldimand County and Norfolk, which is a huge area.
Right. But in Caledonia itself, I got
1,800 votes in the community, where the Conservative Party got 1,100 votes.
And the Liberals got?
And the Liberals got 1,500. In total in Haldimand County, I got 4,800 votes, and it's probably number one as an independent person. Normal independents only get about 348 votes.
You've had death threats?
Death threats. I've spent a night in jail for Canadian flag. I'm being sued for $7.1 million by the OPP.
You spent a night in jail. Now, I understand you put the Canadian flag up. This is Canada, for goodness sake. You should be able to fly this flag anywhere. It's one thing to a flag of another country that might provoke another group. Okay, the police could say, take it down, it's provoking. But it's a Canadian flag. They put you in prison overnight for that?
Yeah.
There are drug dealers. There are rapists around.
Well, not according to the OPP. Commissioner Fantino in January 2007 told the media that they had already spent $500,000 on policing Gary McHale. And for 2 weeks in December of 2006, they had a meeting there almost every single day trying to plan out how to arrest me.
How do you know that?
Well, because I got a police service report. I filed a complaint about staying overnight in jail. They provided me all the information, what meetings occurred, who was in the meetings. And they knew full well that I had committed no crime. They had no charge against me, but they had met arrangements with the Crown. It's all in the names of the Crown people as well.
You're alleging conspiracy here between the Crown and the police to arrest and intimidate an innocent man. You can back that up?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Matter of fact, I subpoenaed the Crown to be a witness in my trial. He consented to answering 3 questions. He named the officers who approached him. Even though they knew full well they had no crime, they pressured him to lay a mischief charge when he wouldn't go along with their their idea. Their idea was to arrest me and go before a JP, Justice of the Peace, and say Gary is such a danger to the community, we need to have travel restrictions on him.
All right. Actually, one thing in particular, I'll probably be getting a lot of speeding tickets now by the OPP, and if anyone from the OPP or the Native community wants to come on and respond to this, the show is open to them. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
When we come back, an easy one, Israel, the flotilla, Gaza, in a few moments on The Coren Show. Don't go away.